Good morning. My little button says, I got it to end my little hand.
How are you today?
I'm okay. Yeah, I sound a bit croaky, but it's all okay.
Mm,
This thing, what have you got type of thing. And I think it's just a cold.
yeah,
Before we had this wind and this rain, I got such a wind chill in London last weekend. I was so cold. When you know you're cold, you think, oh God, I'm going to get a cold.
mm.
But thank you. I'm fine. Good to see you. You're looking awesome.
Well, we both were matching today. It's almost
Yeah,
like
we
I
are.
should have worn a black t-shirt because then
Oh,
that would have been
yes.
ridiculous.
Actually, this has the same vibrant color as yours does. I don't know why my camera isn't picking it up,
Mm.
but I like your color better. It's more cool.
We've got a storm going on outside.
Yes.
Reading in the paper this morning, it was telling us to stay inside if you can.
Yeah, I know. But a lot of people, I mean, all the things that we depend on so easily, let's say have a coffee out or buy a sandwich or anything like that, those people they have to get out.
They have to get out. Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
Just
I'm
really,
always grateful to any of these services, especially say around Christmas time when it can be so boring, or holiday time type of thing. I'm always
yeah,
so grateful when Costa Coffee's open.
yeah,
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's someplace to plant my butt,
yeah.
something to do.
My mind just went to a really dark place.
Oh yeah, go on.
We're just thinking about, because I suppose this is somewhat a result of climate change, right? This is
Yes,
a
it
nice
is.
taster of the future. I'm just thinking about lockdown during COVID. And, the thing is, if the weather just gets worse and worse and worse and worse, think about the governmental sort of intervention when the weather gets really, really bad.
We can't. No government will be able to do it. How can anybody pre-plan? You can't.
Yeah, yeah. But
Because
what will
even
they do? Like, how will the response, like,
they
obviously
can't.
we probably did really poorly with COVID, right?
Yeah.
So how will they how can they even respond to something like climate change? I mean, it's going to be absolutely tits up, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. That's right. But
Yeah.
I don't think any country responded better than the next country. As some people say that China has got it sorted out. Well, they're dictatorship, so you're not going out. You will not go out. You don't want to go out. Yes, we don't respond like that. I want to go out. You cannot tell me not to go out.
Yeah. 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 Well, that is true. I mean, if they try to really do that here, it wouldn't be it wouldn't be as
Would
good,
not
wouldn't
be
it?
appreciated.
Yeah, it would not be appreciated. I suppose
No.
I suppose perhaps there are some states in Australia who did quite well. I mean, they had a pretty rough lockdown, and the spread was at least really, really low in the beginning, but I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
but then
hard to
it
tell.
turned again. Everybody, the whole world was trying to see what they're doing right.
Yeah,
Everybody could copy. And
yeah,
then all of a sudden it went through the roof again. And they, of course, had that bad lockdown as well. And then
yeah,
they had the rioting,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
So
I
it's
don't
really
know.
I
Yeah,
don't know either. It's gonna be so the
it's a
future is
mess.
going to be interesting if the climate hits us as bad as it is predicted, basically.
Uh,
I'm
where does this word if comes from? Oh
I'm
dear.
trying to be optimistic,
Are
Ines.
you? Okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
Your laugh there was so telling. That was so funny. Well, I suppose that's where
But
we come in though, Ines. We're here to
that's
share some spiritual
absolutely. But
knowledge.
yeah, no, we do give uh, hopefully some
Yes.
insight that anybody who's listening can question, think
Yes.
about, come back to in their own mind, talk to other people about, to see how they feel about it. I mean, that's all any podcast can do.
Mm.
Um, but so let's begin to talk about a pocket. A pocket. What do we use a pocket for? We use a pocket to put things in. And when we put things into our pocket, rarely does it get lost. So we put things into a pocket in order not to lose it and to know where to find it as well. A pocket is also portable, and our item or items in our pocket are able to be carried around with us. Awesome, isn't it? Anyway, what we're really talking about is our spiritual knowledge. that always needs to be with us, hence the term of a pocket. In the physical, we transfer things from one pocket to another if we're changing clothes. The same situation would apply when we need to change our image, meaning when our body becomes defunct, our spirit moves away. So the next body, the next physical body, will have the same knowledge in that accessible pocket. So when we put on a different coat in the continuation of our lives, we put our knowledge into a new pocket, which is still a storage space, but a very personal one. Not one that is shared with anyone else. We can share a drawer, we can share a cupboard, but we cannot share a pocket with anyone else. A pocket is very personal. And it is symbolic for the simple reason that we need to carry our spiritual knowledge around with us. It's always with us. It has to be. It doesn't stay in the spiritual realms. It is with us. All that knowledge over time, we hold on to very tightly. And when we need it, we delve into that pocket and out it comes, the knowledge comes out because you know where it is. But do we know where it is? Do we know where the pocket is? The fun thing is to find out where it is. It's finding out where it is, how to find it, and when is the right time to want to find it. Just to interject briefly, we're then getting in with the free will and the karma on this planet. So yes, the knowledge is there. The karmic progression is also there for our tapping into, but it's not always the right time. We therefore come to the area of expanding or developing not only our spiritual learning and insight, but also finding and expanding ourselves. When we do find ourselves, knowing our weaknesses, this was in another podcast of ours, we will know where the pocket is and what is needed to open it, such as psychic or spiritual development, meditation, regression, many things. But it's also very important to understand, our guiding forces, which would be able to delve into the pocket for you. And I'll come to that. The guide or guides could be looked at as part of the pocket because they would be able to bring forward the spiritual knowledge to you from that part of the brain, which has the memory of all time. Once our body is defunct, it simply transfers this knowledge from one area or from one pocket to another or another suit. We're always adding to that spiritual knowledge. It's not a real pocket, of course, but it is in the sense that this knowledge is contained within the body. It is contained within the force of the body. That is the life force of the body. The spiritual memory is in the larger part of the brain and has to be sought out. The guiding force is there to help bring forward the relevant information that is necessary at the appropriate time so that we're all able to understand it in a more physical sense. In other words, the guides are not very far from the physical. They're very much on the periphery of, shall we say, the physical and the spiritual realms, for want of a better word. That is also why, as somebody who moves into spirit, we can become ghosts. We are haunted. We have, we linger in a place. Say we've had an unfortunate death, as an example. We're looking for someone because our spiritual self would remember our physical body, the physical event of our timely death. So we're very much on the periphery. We only are not on the periphery once we move across the barrier, as we said last week. But also, when we have that transition from I've died, oh God, I really miss my beautiful manor house and da 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 da. Once the spirit gets acclimatized again, that it is a spirit, the color also changes. We can be pink, blue, whatever it is, but then it changes into what is called a neutral golden light, ready, for the next incarnation. The guiding forces that come to us are necessary for many reasons, but they're very necessary because each guide has the need, everybody, and the directive to pass through the period of guiding others. So it's very much a twofold situation. And once that spiritual knowledge and guidance is put into that pocket, then it is the continuity. Then it is the continuity of that individual's karma that will be highlighted. And that is what is so important, especially now. I mean, COVID as an example, we've had recessions, depressions, all of those things. They're major upheavals for the physical human beings. And during those periods of time, many new inventions come forward, I suppose new ways of life have to be accounted for, and so on. And this is then the karmic pattern that can be found, and that, let's say, that light bulb moment of what to do next can be ascertained. All that we believe or feel we need to be able to do is always individual, as everybody's karma is also very, very individual. Karma is a direct force. It's conveyed by many different areas, but mainly by events. Karma is a meant practice. It is a design practice. It is a practice without end. And how we deal with our karma is the philosophy of life. It is a law that runs through all of men's mind. We are all connected by that same thread. That deeper understanding of life brings forward a calmness. It's not a matter of belly up and, oh, I don't care, nothing makes any difference anyway. We don't know. Nobody knows. But that calmness is born from within. To achieve that inner calmness is not easy. It's not easy whatsoever. We also, by achieving this calmness, we also will have achieved control over our emotional selves. And that in turn gives us a stronger mind, highlighting the opportunities and the directions beneficial to us, meaning, there we are, COVID, your business is gone, your livelihood is gone, you have trained for it. Maybe you're not in a position as of life years to yet train yet again. What do? You always, find a new job, reinvent yourself. Not that easy. But without jumping to conclusions of worthlessness or destitution, by moving into that inner calmness, we will find something. And you might be absolutely amazed how that actually happens. There's a story this is a true story of a lady up north. This is during the Depression, when the coal mines were, they're shutting everything else. No work for the man, certainly no work for the women, and so on. And this woman always loved carving anything out of driftwood that she happened to see. And she had found a beautiful, beautiful piece of wood. Maybe it was from a ship or something, shipwreck. Anyway, she had nurtured this and she carved it into a magnificent Madonna. But the Madonna, not necessarily of religion, it's just beautiful. But of course, she couldn't sell this, but she was very good at carving. And push came to shove. Anyway, what she did, she hacked this beautiful piece of sculpture to pieces to make it into small, manageable, portable pieces like the size of her hand. And she started carving this magnificent wood into individual little animals. Anyway, she made impression. Those little carvings were bought. Not only that, she went on to open a store, and she reinvented herself because she took the courage to demolish what she felt was her life's work, which kept her going through those very destitute, hard, ugly times when she was working on her Madonna with this beautiful piece of wood. She gave that beautiful piece of wood up, but she found a new existence. And that's through the calmness of her mind, through sometimes through desperation. But there's always something, and there is something. No one is meant to be left behind. No one is paying for sins. We should have this, we should have that. Yes. Why not forget what you should have, which we cannot recant, we cannot change, but why don't you have a look? What are you able to do? So the pocket, really important. And what we're going through now, all of humanity, all of us, we have a pocket someplace. It's in our life force. We hold on to it dearly, but we can dip into it. And the guides, as I said last week, they will have learned that lesson, that they are now trying to push us through. So anyway, cheerful.
I think so. I think it's
Yes.
a message of, I suppose it's a message of understanding, isn't it? In some sense or another, of understanding the reason why behind something happens, because then it can make more sense.
I think the human mind, it has so much resilience. We are so strong. We can never, ever, no one can ever say this or that is going to happen. We don't know. We don't know.
Yeah. So just put your best foot forward and take it from there.
That's right. Yes.
No, exactly.
Sometimes we have to change our lifestyle, but is it really that bad? Is it really that bad? Not really. Sometimes you have no choice. And then as we rise from the ashes, that shows your mettle. That shows a human being's mettle. Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you remember that little program they had? This was during COVID. And again, this was young one. Well, you can only show so many people. And she didn't have a job, and she went to the seaside and she collected leftover bits of rubbish, a button, a bit of plastic. And she had a tiny bit of resources. She got the cheapest of the cheapest paper, which actually looked awesome. It looked frayed and great. And she made cards out of those. And she sold those. And she made a nice business out of that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ines. That was
okay.
That was great. Thank you so much.
That's okay.
Well, as always, people, if you have any questions, anything you want us to answer, just send them across and we will get back to you. Thank you for listening. And we hope that you found some calm and resilience in that.
Yeah. Some food for thought.
Some food for thought. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Toodaloo.